Hey, Tom with Coin Lifestyle, and I want to do some battleground training with you. We get hit all the time with, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme, and I look at people and I say, if this is a Ponzi scheme, so is the U.S. government, so is the Treasury, so is the stock market. And you really have to know the definition of a Ponzi scheme. That's where people are taking in current money to pay, people out in the future. They're taking in existing money to pay off people that have already come in. Well, OneCoin's not doing that. Okay, when you understand the mechanics of our business model, number one, when OneCoin collects money for a product, it's an educational product. Once they sell that to an individual, they have no future financial obligation to that individual. Do you understand that? They could shut the doors tomorrow if they wanted to. They've delivered the product that they promised. They're not promising 2.2% a month or 2.2% for every unit you have. They're not doing any of that, folks. Do you understand? You don't even have to put the tokens into mining if you don't want to. Now, I know a lot of people, that's the reason they get the package, is because they want to learn how to mine. They want access to that energy, those tokens, to acquire more coins. Okay, so I get that. But you know what? The company does not require you to mine coins. So you could come and buy the educational package. You could come buy One Academy and never mine the first coin in the world. So how could it be a Ponzi scheme if you are not required to put money in, if you're not required to take deposits out, if you're not required to keep money in, if the company has no future financial obligation to you, how in the world can it be a Ponzi scheme? Okay? Go to Black's Law Dictionary and look it up. The company is not paying interest payments. They're not paying money to you based on money they've collected. They pay a commission on a product the week they get it. There's a 2-week delay. You get it on the Monday you get credited, and the next Monday you get paid out. Standard 2-week refund policy. When you think about it. So it's not like the company is collecting money, okay? And they're saying, oh, we owe this to you in the future. They are allowing us to take 40% of our commissions and put it into buying tokens or coins that we have the right. Does the company have the financial obligation to buy those coins from us? No, they don't. So how can it be a Ponzi scheme? Okay? The company has we have agreed to the terms that we would accept this digital money in lieu of compensation. Okay? When you think about it, after we give our money to the company, what is their only obligation? Well, technically, their only obligation would be, and it's not a Ponzi-related issue, is they really should keep an exchange open for us and a blockchain and the servers for our e-wallets. Okay? So that is the only company's obligation. Okay, that's the only obligation the company has, is to keep an exchange open. Now, what if they put us on a public exchange? What if they allow us to move our coins into public wallets? OneCoin could shut their doors tomorrow, and they wouldn't have any future financial obligation to us. Are you seeing the point I'm coming back to? The company has no future financial obligation to us. Okay? People say, well, they're adjusting the rate of the cryptocurrency, and it's making people want more. No, people wanting more, the more tokens going in to the algorithm are adjusting the mining ratios, which is affecting the overall price. Guess what? Bitcoin does the same thing. Guess what? When the U.S. government sells bonds, they do the same thing. They have an algorithm, too, that determines bond pricing. Okay? So if we're a Ponzi scheme, what the Treasury does in issuing bonds is a Ponzi scheme. Okay? And they're probably more so one than OneCoin is, because they're issuing bonds to pay off future debt. Now, that's more of a definition of a Ponzi scheme. When you take in new money to pay past investors. Now tell me that's not what the U.S. government's doing, or any government's doing, not just the U.S. government. So think about your educational terms here for a minute. Think about your concept for a minute. The Treasury Department sells new bonds to do what? To pay interest on debt that we have issued in the past. Now look up the definition of Ponzi, and I think you'll find that closer to the model of a Ponzi scheme. Okay? So when you run across somebody that says, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme, you look at them in the eye and you say, you obviously don't know the legal definition of a Ponzi scheme. You obviously are ignorant. You are obviously misinformed. And we have all these expert bloggers out there, and they've never even looked at Black's Law Dictionary. They've never even been through a battle about what a Ponzi scheme is. They just throw the term out there because it gets them search results. Oh, it's a Ponzi scheme. That'll scare everybody. Everybody knows what a Ponzi. Nobody even knows the history of Charles Ponzi hardly. But they use the word Ponzi and people don't even know what it means. They don't even know the definition of it. So when you go out there and you hear that term, or if you have been scared away from our opportunity because somebody threw out that term, well, shame on you. You know, you had some ignorant fool talk you out of an incredible opportunity for you to be able to create wealth because you don't know the facts. You don't know what the legal definition of it is. So you tell me, and I'll end it with this. What is the company's future financial obligation to us? Are they required to buy our coins back? No. Are they required to buy our tokens back? No. Okay. Do they pay us an interest rate on our money? No. Do they determine the price of the coin? No. The algorithm does, and the amount of competition that's created by the sales. Do you know if the sales dropped off on OneCoin, do you know what would happen to the mining ratio? It actually would go down. And you know what that would do to the price of our coin? It would go down. So yeah, if our sales were to slow down, the mining ratio could actually come down. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. Somebody could come out with something better and the sales force leave and go to that. I doubt it. Okay? I think Dr. Ish has put together something pretty awesome. But by legal definition, folks, it's not a Ponzi scheme. And if you meet somebody who says it's a Ponzi scheme, you look them straight in the eye and you tell them, you're absolutely wrong. You obviously don't know what the legal definition of a Ponzi scheme is. If you did, you wouldn't be saying that. And when they challenge you, say, tell me what the company's future financial obligation is to pay its members after they pay their fee. You understand, we buy an educational package. The company pays our commission. And then after they pay our commission, guess what? They have no future financial obligation to us. They are not paying us interest. They are not paying us returns. Okay? They won't continue to pay us commissions unless our sales organization produces new sales. Okay? If our sales stop, guess what? Our commissions stop. There's no auto ship. Now, if there was an auto ship there, that might be grounds for saying, oh, there's a Ponzi scheme here. There's no auto ship. There's no requirement to get your check. Do you understand? This is not a Ponzi scheme. Understand your legal definitions. Wake up. Quit being convinced by ignorant people that are spending time going around and telling everybody the sky's falling. The only Ponzi scheme I see in the world right now is the currency that we deal with on a daily basis. It's depreciated by 93%. And if you know what NIRP is, negative interest rate policy, we're getting ready to go into that. It's where they're paying people to take our money because it's so freaking worthless. And yet you run around and tell everybody that, oh, I'm scared, I'm scared. You shouldn't be scared. You ought to be scared about the paper that's in your pocket. Okay? This is not a Ponzi scheme. We sell a product. We get paid a commission. If we stop doing that, we don't get paid. Okay? But that's not the company's fault. That's the company's policy. Okay? So when you think about it, what is the future financial obligation of the company to do? To provide us an e-wallet in exchange, okay, and a blockchain. But if they move us into the public realm, the company has no future obligation to us whatsoever. So do you understand? We are not a Ponzi scheme. And if somebody has scared you away from this opportunity with that stupid argument, you are the one that got conned.